Hello there. Good evening to you. Hope you had a good day. The weather was fantastic today. Oh my gosh, we hit like 72 degrees. Let me get my thing going here so that you guys can see this over there on Facebook. All right, so we're going to talk about a few things tonight. Got a couple of housekeeping items, a couple of news items, and a little something else that I want to kind of talk about that came up in the past week. So, welcome to the show tonight. Got Johnny here with you. MyHelmetTalk.com is our blog spot, our radio spot, our website. So, we are going to get this thing started. Let me roll this thing out right here. Let's get this show on its way. All right, welcome. Thanks for joining me tonight. So, got some exciting news today. We had some really exciting news. I got an email today while I was at work that said that my Apple app, the iPhone app for MHT radio, had finally been approved and was up and ready to deliver. So I was pretty excited about that. That was really good news because now it can join the Android app, which has been up for, I don't know, a week or maybe two. Yeah, almost, yeah, 2 weeks. So anyway, the Apple iPhone app is up and running, and we're excited to tell you about it. Please download our apps. We have Google Play, the Google Play app on the Google Play Store. We also have linked this in our radio page on our website. So if you go to myhelmettalk.com / let's just do it right here. myhelmettalk.com / radio. And there we go. Took a minute. Got a lot of, I have to fight for bandwidth around here. The TV's going, they're playing games on the computers, the Xbox is going, and so I have to fight for bandwidth. And so here we are doing the best we can. That's where the radio player is. It's loading up. I'm assuming it don't usually take this long. But right there, right here, Android, iPhone, right at the bottom of the radio page on our website. There's a place right here you can leave comments if you want to, or you can get a hold of us through, these are all past radio shows. You can go on there and listen to them if you want to. They play through. You can't access that through the app. You have to come over here on the radio page. Right there's a text line right there, if it makes it any easier to see. And then our email right there. And I will put this stuff up on the screen too, so you can see it better. Let's reload. Oh, since I didn't put in HTTPS, it's not a secure connection, so it's not going to display correctly. That's all right. Anyway, you know where it's at. You know how to get to it. So there's the, and we already have 5+ downloads. It's not a lot, I know, but it's a start. We've got it downloaded a few times. It only counts by 5, so I don't know. It's somewhere between 5 and 10. We haven't hit 10 yet. So come and get your app. They're free. Come and get them. It plays our music, podcasts every Monday, noonish Pacific time. It plays, actually, it's 11 o'clock Pacific time, noonish Mountain time. But anyway, it plays a past podcast. For those who don't catch the podcast, they air on the radio Mondays around noon. And you can listen to them while you work or whatever if you want to. And then we also have the Apple app, which just went active today. I'm excited about it. Downloaded it on my phone and listened to the radio all afternoon. Listened to the songs and whatnot. And man, it's working good. So come and get it right there, free. Price free. Come and grab it. Get you an Apple phone, an app if you run iPhone. And there's one for iPad. So you can get it on your iPad or your iPhone or both, please. And when you download our apps, check it out. And please go back and give us a rating and a comment. Leave us a comment on there with your rating, and we'd appreciate it. It helps us it helps move us up in the Google Play Store and the Apple Store, so that our apps can be found by more people, so they're not pushed all the way at the bottom. So please give us a rating and your feedback. It really helps us, and we really appreciate it. All right, so that's that. We covered the radio. Please go download the apps and let me know what you think. In other news, it looks like we have tornadoes. Was it last night in Nashville, Tennessee? Our thoughts go out to those guys. It's looks like 24 is the head count so far. That's a lot of people that lost their lives in this tornado. So our thoughts go out to them. I'm just going to put it up there real quick. Devastating, devastating. We don't see that much out here where we live. The weather conditions just aren't ideal for it. There's no moisture in the air. It's very dry. It's either hot or cold, and so the conditions that create these tornadoes don't really exist out here. We've had them before. It has happened. It's happened down in Salt Lake City, or up, I guess, it'd be up in Salt Lake City now, but I lived in Wyoming at the time. So it's not highly likely, but it's possible, I guess, in this area. So anyway, our thoughts are with those folks. Sucks. A lot of devastation. And the West Nile virus. I was talking about it on here a minute. Heard West Nile virus. Oh, I've got all my See, there's so damn many of them you can't keep them straight. The coronavirus. Oh my gosh, the fake news media is out in force on it. I can't remember how many thousand people this year have already died of just the common flu, and it's like 12,000. It's a lot. Well, it might not be that much, but it was a big number. A lot more than what the coronavirus has killed. The news media is really going to town on this. They are really pumping it up, I'll tell you, they're causing a lot of panic within people. It's kind of crazy because I've been seeing all over the social media outlets that toilet paper and water and your straw commodities that you use a lot of, or that you want to make sure you don't run out of, they're out. The stores are selling out. They're causing us big panic within the people, and they're going in and buying all the shit up. So today, here in our Walmart, our toilet paper and water shelves were all empty. And it's like, what in the world? You know, it's just kind of crazy for sure. But that's what the news media is doing. The fake news media is blowing this up and really pushing fear and panic within the American public. And the flu, they got a comment here. The flu sucks ass. It does, man. Um, I know Rodney's been out a couple of days with it, and last year I had it for about a month. It only put me down where I could not function for about 3 days, but the rest of that, I shouldn't have been functioning, but I just couldn't stay home. So, I was one of those guys that went to work, and I spend all day by myself. If I worked in with a bunch of people or public, it might have been different, but I don't. I sit in a truck by myself all day. Um, but it was miserable, and that common flu that everybody gets every year that they immunize for, kills more people than any of the other so-called viruses that they've created and made big mentions of, and pushed public fear and panic. The common flu kills more people than any of those did. Probably all those put together. Just so you know, you know. Uh, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. And I am not going to get too worried about it. I'm going to protect myself, same as I do any other day. Wash my hands, use my hand sanitizer. I've always done that, um, and just promote hygiene, good hygiene, cleanliness. It'll help with that. It'll help keep you away from getting colds and flus and just being sick. Um, this time of year, it is always prevalent, and you just got to do what you can to protect yourself. And if you get it, you get it, and you ride it out. You ride it out. Generally, the people that die from it are the elderly or the extremely young that can't quite fight it off. Or in some cases, I've read and understand that your body fights it so hard that your body can't handle it, and you die from the illness, or from your body fighting the illness. I guess the way I understand that. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong. I may be, but that's what I got off the radio. So that's my thoughts on it. We're not gonna panic. We're gonna keep on doing what we do, and we're gonna wash our damn hands and use our hand sanitizers. Try not to spread germs. I think it's really about that simple. I really do. I do. So, all right. So this next topic I gotta talk about a little bit, and the reason I'm gonna even bring this up and talk about it is because I had an incident similar to this happen to me when I was patrolling the streets, when I was a on-duty police officer. So I got to talk about this because it's real shit. Let me pull this up so you know what I'm talking about. Bam. If you haven't watched this docu-series and you're pretty tough and want to watch something that'll just wrench your heartstrings to no end, it's on Netflix. I chose not to watch it. Summer turned it on and started watching it, and she got hooked into it pretty good. This poor little boy, I think he was 8 years old or something. Man, it was physical abuse to the max, and crying out for help. so many opportunities for people in positions to help him, and they didn't. And the system failed this kid. This is a true story. And the system failed this kid. And this kid, it was a horrible existence. The however many, I think he was 8, but it was a horrible, horrible existence for this boy. And so much so that I just didn't want to watch it. I was in there when it was playing some, and I did my own thing, read my books and stuff, paid attention to it a little bit, heard a few things that was going on. But it's hard. It's hard to watch it. True story. I'm going to pull this up right here. Words that some of you may have heard. I know some of you have. Others may not have, but we're going to talk about them. Let me make this a little bit bigger so it's a little easier to see. I've got nonfeasance highlighted. Misfeasance and malfeasance go right along with nonfeasance. And what this amounts to is somebody in a position to do their duty, and they fail to do their duty. Failure to perform an act that is required by law, right there, nonfeasance. Failure to perform an act that is required by law. Can I make that bigger? Oh yeah. That make it better to see? There, look at that. Man, I learn new stuff every day. Failure to perform an act that is required by law, right there. Move over here. Misfeasance. Nonfeasance and malfeasance are types of failure to discharge public obligations existing by common law, custom, or statute. The Carta de Law caused of Eleanor remembered one of the first lawmakers set up the crime of misfeasance. Okay, so failure to do your damn job, right? Make it easy. That's the easy way to say it. The people in the Gabriel Fernandez case had every opportunity to save that boy's life and didn't do a damn thing to do so. In fact, they told him to quit lying, and the poor kid was bruised from head to toe. It was just horrible, and nobody would help him, and he eventually succumbed to his abusers, and he died. He succumbed to his abuse, and he died. A horrible, torturous, many years of torture, death. So the thing that caught me about it was years ago. I'd been in law enforcement for a little while. I was a pretty seasoned officer. I think I was a professional peace officer through the state of Wyoming, and I come across I was actually I think I was the school I was a school resource officer for a few years, and I had a kid come to me, and he needed some help. Oh, here we go. Before I get into that story, they're all mandated reporters. Everyone felt them. Yeah, yeah. That's what I was just saying. Summer watched the show, that Gabriel Fernandez show, and it was horrible. They failed that kid so drastically. But I had this kid come to me, and he wasn't being physically abused, but he was being malnourished and mentally abused by his caretaker. I'm not going to go give too much detail, but it was a juvenile deal. But anyway, he wanted help, and he wanted something different. I ended up taking the kid after doing a series of interviews and investigations and stuff. I took the kid and put him in temporary custody of the state. And I think it's been a long time since I've been in that line of work, but I think they could keep him for like 72 hours, 48 hours, something like that, and then there had to be a hearing. Well, the hearing came, and the judge sent him back home. His mother showed up, or his caretaker, caregiver showed up, and the judge sent him back home. And so he went home, and now I got to tell you about this kid. This kid was, I think he was a freshman in high school or a junior or a sophomore in high school, and he was about the size of a fourth grader, little kid, thin, and just you could tell that he wasn't healthy, I guess, for lack of better terms. So they sent him home, and he runs away. And so, the call goes out that he's a runaway and blah, 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 blah. And it took a couple of days to locate him, but we located him. And more interviews, more investigation. And this house had chickens running around inside of it, like a chicken coop, and there chicken shit everywhere. The house it was a mess. It was filthy. But the bottom line was that his caregiver kept him sick. There's a word for it. It's called Munchausen's disease. I didn't Google that one and pull it up, but it's spelled kind of different. So, but if you want to look it up, look it up. But anyway, so he was always in his caregiver's eyes. He was always sick, so she kept him medicated. And like I said, he was malnourished and just unhealthy. And so I took him out of the home again. I placed him in protective custody, is what we called it. I placed him in protective custody. I'm doing my job. My job is to help those who need help, right? At least that's how I saw it. That all the years that I put in there, I felt like I was there to help people who need help or who can't help themselves, or if a call for service comes in or emergency call, it's my job to go out there and help, right? So I take this kid again and put him in protective custody, and it comes to the hearing, and I get called to the court. And it was a turning point in my career, is what it was. I'm going to go back a little bit on this story, but I had had a friend that had been trying to get me to go in the oil and gas industry for a long time, and I wouldn't go. I was nervous about leaving my comfort zone because it's all I knew, really. I'd been there a long time. It's all I knew. And so I was scared to leave. Well, I got called into the court that day, and I got my ass ripped. Fiercely by a judge. Threatened to charge me with contempt of court and throw my ass in jail. He was so pissed off because I undermined him in his eyes. He sent the kid back home, and this is all in like the same week. Was within a few days. I had taken the kid and put him in protective custody again, and he was furious. He called me in there, and it was quite humiliating because it was a juvenile case, so there's not a lot of people in the courtroom, but there was uh, court reporters and the caregiver to the kid and child protective services, and so there was a handful handful and a half of people in the courtroom, and he's just ripping my ass. He's just chewing me out upside one down, telling me that I don't know who I think I am and why I think I can play God and everything. And yeah, he ripped me up pretty good, tore me up pretty good right there in front of everybody that was there, and told me it wouldn't happen again. Yeah, if I undermined him ever again, I'd go sit in a jail cell. I was doing my job. Uh, it was a turning point in my career. It helped me make the decision that to move on and go into another career path. Not solely that. Um, Lack of having retirement for years, and we had one at that point, but it was new, and so you got to start your 20 years over after like, well, I was there over 10 at the time, and so that came into play, and pay come into play, and this incident just kind of helped push me the other way, and that's when I chose to leave. And well, it wasn't right then, it was a little bit later, but that was one of the guiding or driving factors that helped me make the decision to go try something different. And I went into oil and gas and went into management and spent about 15 years there. So second career. But that was kind of the deal. Now, you know, years go on, and I traveled and left, and I left the area and traveled with the oil and gas industry and lived all over the country. I've talked about this so much, but lived all over the place, and they moved me where they needed me, and I was just kind of the oil and gas pawn. I just did what they wanted me to do and went where they wanted me to go and stuff. And so after I left, I lost track of this kid, and I don't ever know what happened to him. I hope he survived, and I hope he's okay. Because after this Gabriel Fernandez thing, it was like, you know, the system sucks sometimes. Our system is the best system out there, but it does have some problems, and at times the system fails people. It's just the same as this Gabriel Fernandez. It failed him until he was dead, and he should not be dead. There was so many opportunities for people in the right places to help this kid survive, and they didn't. A little bit different than my story because I did everything within my power to help this kid. A little bit different, but I had a court system that would not back me up on my decisions. And so, did we fail this kid? Yeah, the system did. The system did. Like I said, I hope he survived. I wonder where he is today, and stuff. But it was tough. It was tough because you're there, you're doing the interviews, you're talking to the people, and you're doing the investigations, and it's a bad situation. It's not a good situation. It's not like living in my house or your house. It's just a bad situation, a dirty situation, filthy situation. And then you had and the mental abuse on top of the malnourishment. my gosh, like I said, this kid was tiny. He should have been a lot bigger than he was. But she had 9 million, 9 million excuses why it wasn't, and illnesses, and he has this, and he has this, and he has that, and treating him for this and that, and but anyway, yeah, I could ramble on forever. But so that show just brought those memories up in me. I'd never talked about it or anything, but so here I am making a live video about that. But it happens, folks, and that's my point. Is it happens, and it sucks. This, like I said, sometimes the system is broken. Like I said, though, a minute ago, it's the best system around, in my opinion, but it's not flawless. And so, I don't know. If you're ever in a position and somebody needs your help, give them your help, because sometimes nobody will. And they're reaching out to somebody and trying to get somebody to listen to them. Yeah, so that's that. I just thought I'd bring that up because that, like I said, that docu-series that she watched kind of sparked a lot of emotion in me and whatnot, and I remembered that. Well, I'll never forget that case. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget the ass chewing I took over doing my job. I was not going to have a letter in my file that said nonfeasance, misfeasance, or malfeasance. I might have one on there that says contempt of court for doing my job, but I'm not going to have one of these titles. There ain't no fucking way. You know? And it didn't come down to that, but before I'd let a kid die, I'd take the jail cell. I really would. You know, that's just the type of person I am. So, that's that. That's the story. That's my story. I'm sticking to it, and I'm not changing it. That's it. It's a good story. It's a true story. And true story on how our system is flawed and whatnot. After watching this movie, it just drives home the fact that things slip through the cracks sometimes. Not a good thing. Not like that. So, have a good rest of your week. Just wanted to do that real quick. Main reason for this video was to mention the apps and to spread the word. Please help me spread the word, you guys. I've got a note card with them on them if I can send them to you, and help if you can send them around, help me, whatever. Appreciate you. Those of you who have downloaded the apps, I appreciate you guys, and the ones that left the reviews and the ratings. Thank you very much. That's how we move ourselves up the ladder in the Play stores, is by getting good reviews and 5 stars. The better and the more. We need numbers. The further up we go, so that when somebody searches for a radio app, we're not at the bottom of the list. We can work our way up, you know. So thank you, appreciate you, all you guys that have downloaded it. The Android guys are kicking the iPhone guys' ass so far, but the Android or the iPhone just come out today, so we'll give it a couple of weeks and see where we're at. But thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your week. Have a blessed week. Be safe out there. Where's my hat? I'm having to use a different camera tonight because with this low light, the camera on the computer, which is where I'm looking, I'm up here, but it doesn't give a very good picture, so I'm using my secondary camera, and it's up here. I'm over here because all my shit's down here. So if it looked like I was looking off in La La Land space, I really wasn't. Enjoy yourself. Peace.